Hi, what is going on? I'm s7yler, and in this video I'm going to review the UMI Rome in gold, a very cheap and decent smartphone with a pretty nice design. The phone is powered by the MediaTek 6753 octa-core clocked at 1.3 GHz. It comes with a 5.5-inch HD display. It has 3 GB RAM and 16 GB ROM, a 8 megapixel main camera that is interpolated to 13, plus a 2 megapixel front camera. For more info, please have a look below in the description. So this phone is clearly a low budget model, and the main highlight is the low price, where you still will get a phone with decent hardware, but you still need to be realistic, and you can of course not expect flagship specifications. So if this model is good or bad is really up to you. Most people I have seen who actually got this phone seems to be happy with it, considered the low price. But besides the pros, it also has some flaws. This and more I will go through in this video, so stay tuned. If you want to see the content of the box, the accessories, wall charger and so on, I recommend to watch my separate hands-on and unboxing video. I will provide a link to it below in the description. Let's have a look at the phone design. On the top we find the light and proximity sensor, a front LED flash for selfies, the ear speaker together with a 2 megapixel front camera, but notice that there is no notification LED. The phone has a 5.5-inch HD display with a standard black border around, and the glass is 2.5D, so it is slightly curved in the edge. The touchscreen works good most of the time, but the sensitivity could still be a little bit better. In the bottom we find the menu, home and back buttons, which unfortunately do not have any backlight. We also notice a big hole. I believe that must be for the microphone. Not the most elegant solution, but I guess it's better than having problems with the microphone. On the back side, which is removable and made of plastic, we find an 8 megapixel Sony rear camera with aperture 2.4, together with a dual LED flash that could be stronger. Inside the phone we will also find a 2500 mAh battery, and that gives about 1 day with average use, but if you are a heavy user, I think you should also need a power bank. And last we see the logo and the name. In the bottom of the phone we find the micro USB port in the center, and a dual speaker design where the sound just will come out of the right side. But the sound quality is nothing special, it's very tiny and metallic, typical cheap speaker. On the right side we find the volume rocker together with the power button. The power button feels a little bit loose, while the volume button seems solid, but both buttons seems very sharp in the edge and could maybe get stuck in a pocket. In the top we find the 3.5mm headphone jack, and last on the left side we find nothing, just notice the shape of the nice laser cut metal frame. So let's remove the back cover and let's have a look inside. The phone supports extra micro SD card and it is dual SIM. The good thing is that you can use all 3 cards at the same time in this phone. And let me also show you the battery. And last we have the built-in speaker. So now let's have a look at the phone in action, and you can wake the screen by double tapping, and you can see double tap to wake is functioning. We have here the dialer and the camera directly on the lock screen, so you can slide to the side to open up the camera, but let's just unlock. So here we have the stock UI, and it looks like on any UMI phone, actually on the UMI Ion it also looked like this, and I kind of like the look of the icons. It's very clean and very stock. Let me just scroll a little bit here in the UI so you can see that the phone is okay smooth. Let's see the app drawer. We have some stock apps. I also installed some of these myself, for example AnTuTu, and also Google Plus and GPS test and so on. What you have to notice is that the phone comes pre-rooted. We see that here, Super SU is pre-installed. Of course, there's also the Play Store, and the YouTube is also working fine. And the phone also supports air gestures, so in the launcher or the gallery you can just swipe your hand to change the page. It's very common in China phones that they have air gestures and also off-screen gestures. And let me also try out the off-screen gestures. Let's try M for music player, for example. Yeah, and let me also show you the bezels. So here on this page you clearly see the black border around the display, very typical on China phones. So the border is, I would call, standard, not the thinnest I've seen, but also not the thickest. It's okay. And let's have a close-up of the reception. I'm using dual SIM. You can see 3G on SIM 1. Of course, the phone also supports 4G, but right now I'm only using a 3G card here in my phone, so that's why I'm not getting any 4G right now. And you can also see that my Wi-Fi is very good. So regarding the display, according to the manufacturer, it is an AMOLED display, but it clearly doesn't look as one. Many of us know that AMOLED normally doesn't have any backlight for black, but on this display it clearly shows backlight on a black screen. So whatever this is AMOLED or not, I will not be the judge of, but I must admit that the display looks okay when you look directly on the screen, but it doesn't come anything near the type of AMOLED that we know from Samsung devices. So now let's have a close look at the camera app, and here in macro you can see that the focus is working. It does focus pretty good. Close up, let's try to get a little bit closer. Still okay. And let me do a test picture. Looks okay, not bad. So besides that, the camera is very stock. We have here picture-in-picture, multi-angle view, panorama, and so on. We also have the filters here for colors. Okay. And let's see the settings. Standard settings for MediaTek phones. Voice capture, face detection, and so on. We see the picture size is 13 megapixels, but these are interpolated. Let's try to change to 43. The same. In video mode, noise reduction, electronic image stabilization, video quality up to fine, full HD or just high, this would be HD. And here's some camera samples. Let me just zoom a little bit in so you can see. Quality is nice. And as always, I will also provide a link in the description to some camera samples in high resolution. So to see the quality, I suggest to take a look at these and be the judge yourself. And let's also try the front LED flash. Okay, so here the picture without front LED flash, and here a picture with the front LED flash. So you can see there's a little bit of change. Not the biggest change, but you can see the hand is more clear here. So it does work. And let's try a picture here in the dark, just with LED flash. pretty nice when close up. But as you noticed, it takes a while to focus. Let's try here without the LED flash. And as you can see, the picture then gets very noisy. This is totally crap. Low light without LED flash. So not good in low light, but in daylight and good light it's pretty good. Let me turn on the torch. Let's see the LED. Dual LEDs on the back, not the strongest. So only good for close-ups. And now let me try to do a test call. Proximity sensor.
Press 1. To change your personal options, press 2.
And let me try to put the ear speaker here up to the microphone.
In your voicemail box. To listen to your messages, press 1. To change your personal options.
Okay, so that was the sound here from the ear speaker. You can hear loud and good. Maybe not the best, but fine for normal use. So here you see the quick toggles. Let's see the settings. So SIM cards. And here you can change the mobile data. You can set SIM 1 or SIM 2 to that. Inside display we also find mirror vision, so you can tweak the colors and contrast. Let's see the storage. So here you see the total space and available. There's also support for SD card and external USB storage. And let's check out the RAM consumption. So we see system 573 MB of RAM. Apps 175 MB, and free is still 2.2 GB of RAM out of 3 GB. Let's see the cached. Let's scroll further down. We have here air gestures. So you can enable this for music and gallery, the launcher and so on. And let's see the smart wake. Double click to wake. Draw up to unlock, draw C for camera, M for music and so on. And the phone is of course also multi-language. Let me just scroll through these. So all languages are supported. And let's see about. Here we see the build number. I'm using currently 3.0.1. It's using Android version 5.1 Lollipop. See the model number. It has support for wireless updates, OTA. So that's it for the settings. And now let's try a USB on-the-go test. So I have here USB OTG cable with a USB stick. And we can see it's working, it's found. And we have the USB stick right here. Let's go into other and let's try a music test. In the rest of the video I will show you some results from different test apps, and in the end I will run a game and tell you about the pros and cons, so stay tuned if you want to know more. Now to my pros and cons. First the pros. It has a metal frame and very good build quality for a low price. It has acceptable performance and 3GB RAM. It has very fast internal read speed. Also, it has good Wi-Fi with 2.4 and 5 GHz support. And notice also that LTE band 20 is also supported. And in this phone it's possible to use dual SIM plus a micro SD card at the same time. And last, it comes pre-rooted out of the box, so you don't have to think about rooting this phone yourself. Two of the cons are that there's no notification LED and the touch buttons have no kind of backlight. The display is good, but it's not the kind of AMOLED we know from Samsung. According to the manufacturer, it is AMOLED, but another type of AMOLED, I guess, and that's why it doesn't look like the AMOLED we know. And also the compass gives some strange results. It does work, but it's not really accurate. The GPS works, but could be a little bit better in the signal. I think the signals are very low, but still the accuracy seems to be okay. The dual LEDs on the back are only average strong. I have seen much stronger, and these could definitely be better. It has a very tiny speaker built in. The sound quality is not the best. And last, it has very few built-in sensors, and things like Google Cardboard will unfortunately also not work. So my final conclusion is that for the low price, this phone is pretty decent, but don't expect too much. The numbers of cons are almost the same as the pros. So don't expect to get a high-end flagship for a low price. You actually get what you pay for, but that was also expected. So guys, that's it for the review. Remember also to check out my blog. You find the link in the video description. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. Give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.